I got it. I got it. Don't touch it.
Let's go.
Whoa! Let's go, bro. This is literally my third ever squat session. Damn. Back here in today's video, we're going to be talking about the current epidemic that plagues most of us gym bros. And in today's video, I'm going to be telling you how to cure this epidemic, right? Okay, before we start today's video, I would like to quickly shout out my workout program, right? Program I designed myself to help me get to a 405 bench, a 635 deadlift, and a soon-to-be 500-pound squat with just, a month and a half of training, right? But quick disclaimer, right? If you just have slightly above average genetics, I would 100%, stay away from this workout program if you don't want to be called a fake natural, right? Even if you're not using performance enhancing drugs, this workout program will probably make you labeled a fake natty, right? I'll have the evidence right here and right here and right here. But I'll just use those because this could be a whole clip by itself. But again, it's only $5, less than a Big Mac, but more fulfilling. All right, back into the video. Getting straight into it, the epidemic that I'm talking about is how most of us, yes, most of us, I'm looking at you through the camera, are pretty much bench pressing more than we can squat, right? And I was just one of those people about a month and a half ago, about 2 months ago, unfortunately, right? The epidemic is just us pretty much focusing more on bench pressing than squats. And it's so funny because, our legs are the strongest part of our body, right? Our femurs are literally the most strongest and formidable bone that we have in the human body. Yet most of us have stronger arms than we do legs. And at this point, it's kind of looking pretty bad. It more sad than bad, honestly. Like at this point, it's just pretty pathetic, right? And again, I was one of you guys until like about 2 to 3 weeks ago, which is the funniest part, right? But the biggest cure to this is just by simply squatting, right? I know, squatting, why would I want to squat? Why would I want to get a bigger ass like the Instagram freaking models on my Instagram page, right? And I hear you, right? But it's funny though, because squatting actually boosts your testosterone, right? Squatting and deadlifts, both compound lifts just like the bench, but they target bigger muscle groups in your body, right? Pretty much your whole lower extremities, right? And they actually release more anabolic, hormones such as, your growth hormone and your testosterone, because again, it's a bigger muscle group, right? And the coolest thing about squats too is body recomposition. Thanks to me like hopping more on the Stairmaster and incorporating my squats, my weight has gone down, right? While maintaining my strength, which is cool, right? So I was like, last week at the end of the day body weight, I was weighing probably about 225, 227. I was like, shit, bro. Started doing the Stairmaster a little bit more, and thanks to me incorporating squats and doing it more consistency, like, doing 315 for reps, I've noticed that I've not only lost muscle, or not lost, I haven't lost any muscle, but I've lost some weight, and I look a lot more leaner while still maintaining some decent fullness, right? So again, there's really positives. There's nothing but positives for squatting, right? And another positive for squatting is I work at a rehab clinic, right? And the biggest thing that we teach our patients is pretty much squat-based pattern movements, right? Because a lot of these people don't know how to, do sit to stands, right? A sit to stand is basically exactly what I'm saying. You get up and you stand up, right? A lot of these patients nowadays don't know how to do that because they weren't working their quad muscles. They weren't working their lower extremities to what they needed to be, right? People who are lacking strength training in the lower half of their body. Very critical, right? I'm pretty much going on a tangent, but it's still pretty much relevant to this is what happens when you are, focusing a little bit more on your upper part of your body while ignoring the lower part, right? There's so much benefits to be added if you just started squatting, right? And this is why I'm a big firmer believer in squats now, and I regret my decision by not doing it. So I'm trying to tell you right now, you need to start squatting, right? And then another point a lot of people like to make is, well, squats have a high risk, ratio compared to like the reward. And it's funny you say that, even though you bench press all the time. Out of the 3 big lifts, the squat, bench, and deadlift, the bench is the most number one prone to injury, right? And you were probably asking me why. Well, it's because when you're benching, your shoulder blades are pretty much pinned to the pad of the bench, right? So they have no movement while you're performing the exercise, which can increase risk of injury, right? Like if you're somewhere and your shoulder blades are just trapped between the bench and something goes wrong, there's not much you can do, right? And then again, a lot of people who improperly lift notice a lot of impingements in their shoulders, a lot of shoulder pain, right? A lot of grind on the rotator cuffs because they either are improperly benching or improperly warming up, right? Because when you warm up, you want to, activate and warm up your lats, your triceps, maybe in your chest, and obviously your rotator cuffs, right? So again, when it comes to the argument of, oh, dude, but the risk to reward ratio for squats is just pretty much non-existent, right? There's no reward, but it's so funny that you're bench pressing when it's one of the highest prone for injuries, right? So you really can't even make that argument. And again, to combat this, I 100%, recommend you start doing your squats, right? It was super embarrassing too, being able to, fail a squat on 405 and then bench 405 the next day. It was pretty pathetic, right? I mean, like, here's a clip of me bench pressing 405 for the first time. So 395 moved pretty fucking good. So we're gonna go for 4 fucking plates, bro. Holy shit. Let's do this. I got it. I got it. Don't touch it.
Let's go.
Whoa! Let's go, bro. And then here's a video of me like failing a 405 squat. Right.
Damn.
It's pretty sad. It's pretty pathetic. Luckily though, once you start squatting, your legs will obviously, surpass your arms relatively quickly because again, your legs are the strongest part of your body. They adapt pretty fast. That's why when you try to do calf raises or like train your calves, it's kind of hard because since you've been walking all your life, it's really hard to, increase or improve something that's already been built for the rest of your life. Like, because you've been walking for so long. Obviously still do it, but it's just to show that, your legs can improve or not improve, but adapt rather quickly, right? So again, start squatting, dude. This is a PSA to all the people who, skip squat days. I wish I started squatting before I started benching. I can only imagine how strong I'd be if I took squat as seriously as I did bench for the last 2 years. I'd probably be in the mid 500s, if not 600-pound squats. And honestly, I think squats are a lot cooler, right? I mean, just based on the scientific data about them. I mean, in this report right here, like I said earlier, they increase your anabolic hormones like significantly better than bench pressing, right? And overall body recomposition, they are the #1 best because again, it's pretty much you're hitting your whole lower body, right? And if you're hitting your whole lower body, it's just going to be a systematically wide positive thing, right? For your whole entire body, central nervous system, right? You're going to get stronger. And again, another thing is its real world applications, right? When we're thinking about bench pressing, when are you going to be pressing something off of you, right? Obviously, if you're doing more like contact sports or maybe UFC or something like that. But honestly, I don't really, have you ever gotten into a fight, like just randomly on the street? Like, probably very slim, right? And again, like I said earlier, like real world applications, like we're training a lot of these people in my rehab clinic to pretty much sit the stands, right? To be able to get up from a chair without assistance. You won't need to be able to do that, right? When you're older. And as long as you consistently learn how to, do your squat movements and to incorporate squat in your workout program. But again, yeah, real world application far surpasses bench press. It increases your testosterone significantly. And yeah, overall body composition, it is one of the best, right? Yeah, but that's today's video. Just pretty much a PSA to all the people who are like, on the fence of, oh, should I squat? Or maybe I'll just continue to do bench pressing. Dude, start squatting. Especially if you want to become a full-fledged powerlifter. At that point, you should be squatting. There's no reason for you not to be squatting. How do you expect to, compete and the only thing you have to the table is your bench press and maybe your deadlift? Even I was like, I wonder if there's just push-pull competitions. There are, but how do you plan on marketing yourself as a pretty strong person if we've never seen you squat before, right? So again, It's never too late. So start squatting. I mean, I still regret every single day by not squatting. And once you get into it, like me personally, I'm tall, right? So you think, oh, I hate it. I actually enjoy squatting a lot more, right? It's challenging. It's not something I'm gifted at, but I'm getting stronger, right? And yeah, so make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I really appreciate you guys.